houses down Magnolia Street. There's a porch where summer used to breathe. White curtains dancing in the evening air, like they still believe you're standing there. The mailbox leans a little to the side. The roses grew where we would leave our bikes. Every window catches golden light, but no one's called my name since July. I tell myself I'm only passing through, just another road with another view. But every mile somehow becomes one more memory of you. 7 houses down Magnolia Street, that's where my heart forgot to leave. Every painted fence, every cracked driveway, still remembers yesterday. Maybe love doesn't disappear, maybe it just quietly lives here, between old trees and empty skies, where goodbye never sounded right. 7 houses down Magnolia Street. Miss Carter still hangs when chimes out. Kids still race their bicycles around. The corner store still closes after 10, like the world forgot what happened then. I saw your favorite window full of lights. Someone else was cooking there tonight. Funny how a place can stay the same while every face forgets your name. I almost turned into your old driveway before reminding my heart to walk away. Some streets never really end, they just become old friends. 7 houses down Magnolia Street, that's where forever learned to leave. The swing still moves when the wind comes by, like you're waving one more time. I don't need another reason why some stories never really die. They bloom like flowers every spring inside the smallest ordinary things. 7 houses down Magnolia Street. If these sidewalks could finally speak, would they tell you I came every week? Would they mention all the silent prayers, or the way I search for you everywhere? Maybe every neighborhood keeps one unfinished dream beneath its trees. 7 houses down Magnolia Street, I finally found the missing piece. It wasn't hidden in the house or in the words we left without. It lived inside the life we knew, inside the ordinary truth. Some hearts don't stop loving, they simply learn a softer way to do it. 7 houses down Magnolia Street. You'll always be the light behind those trees. The sun goes down, the porch light shines, and somewhere magnolia flowers keep falling, one by one, one by one. Every evening after work, I took the same way home, past the flower stand, across the bridge where the city softened into gold. There was a coat rack by exit 3, inside the old train station hall. A faded denim jacket had been hanging there since early fall. Nobody claimed it, nobody asked why. People hurried past without lifting up their eyes. But every time I saw it there, it felt like someone planned to come right back, and simply never did. Maybe some stories don't disappear. Maybe they wait exactly where we leave them. The jacket hanging by exit 3 still remembers you and me, holding on to yesterday while every train pulls dreams away. Threads grow older, colors fade, but some goodbyes are never made. If you're searching for the place where love forgot to leave, you'll find a jacket hanging by exit 3. Winter at the station walls, snow collected near the rails. Morning coffee, rushing footsteps, business suits and paper trails. The same old jacket stayed behind, button missing near the sleeve. Someone placed a tiny flower inside the pocket one Christmas Eve. I never touched it, didn't need to. Some things become a language without words. People change addresses, cities change their names, but memories know exactly where to wait. The jacket hanging by exit 3 still keeps a little piece of me, watching strangers come and go, learning things they'll never know. Every zipper, every seam, quietly protecting dreams. Some hearts never really leave, they just become a jacket hanging by exit 3. One warm April afternoon, a little girl looked up and asked, "Whose jacket is that?" Her grandfather smiled, "Maybe it belongs to someone who's still finding their way home." The station grew quiet. For the first time I realized maybe I wasn't waiting for a person. Maybe I was waiting to forgive the past. The jacket hanging by exit 3 isn't just old cloth anymore. It's every promise we couldn't keep, every goodbye we couldn't speak. And every morning the first sunlight still reaches that forgotten sleeve. Maybe that's enough. Maybe healing doesn't mean taking it down. Maybe it means walking forward, knowing some memories will always wave as your train leaves the station. Tomorrow, someone else will walk past exit 3. They'll wonder who left that jacket behind. They'll never know it quietly carried 1,000 untold stories until someone needed one of them. The last train left without a sound, streetlights painted silver on the ground. The party ended hours ago, but one blue balloon refused to go. It floated gently past the gate, like it had somewhere left to wait. Everyone else had gone back home, yet it drifted through the night alone. I watched it dance maybe hope is lighter than we ever planned. Blue balloons after midnight, still chasing pieces of the sky, holding on to wishes nobody could buy. If love disappears, it doesn't always fade. Sometimes it keeps floating long after we walked away. Blue balloons after midnight, teaching broken hearts how to fly. You used to laugh at little things, paper crowns and plastic rings. You said happiness survives inside the smallest parts of life. Now your favorite corner cafe has somebody else there every day, but the moon still shines the same, even when nobody calls my name. Another balloon slipped from a tree, spinning slow above the street. For 1 second I believed you were sending it to me. Every dream we couldn't keep still whispers through the evening breeze, not asking us to turn around, just reminding us we dreamed. Blue balloons after midnight, glowing underneath the stars, tiny pieces of forever escaping from our arms. Even if tomorrow writes another ending line, I'll remember how they shimmered against the summer sky. Blue balloons after midnight, still carrying on light. One by one, they disappeared into the dawn. Not because they were forgotten, because they had finally found enough sky. And maybe hearts are meant to do the same. Blue balloons after midnight, floating where the silence sings. Every color slowly fading, still more beautiful than anything. We'll stop measuring forever by the time we had to lose. Some stories never end, they simply become blue balloons after midnight. If you ever see one crossing the morning sky, don't make a wish, just smile, because somewhere someone finally let it go. I found your writing on the kitchen shelf, folded inside an old cookbook by itself. Milk, fresh peaches, eggs and tea, tiny little notes you left for me. Don't forget the Sunday bread, your favorite flowers bright in red. Nothing fancy, nothing grand, just everyday life in your gentle hand. It's funny how the smallest things can carry years inside their ink. One piece of paper, soft and worn, still brings me home. The grocery list in your handwriting still feels like you're standing beside me. Every little word, every little line turns ordinary into something bright. Bread and butter, coffee beans, all the quiet in between. Love doesn't always shout out loud, sometimes it lives on a grocery list in your handwriting. I smiled when I I saw orange jam, the one we'd search for every chance we had. You drew a tiny little heart beside the apples in the cart. Saturday mornings came alive, driving slow beneath blue skies. No destination, no big plans, just your warm smile holding my hand. We never knew those simple days would someday become the ones we'd save. Now every aisle, every store feels a little like before. The grocery list in your handwriting still walks beside me quietly. Every check mark, every page keeps your laughter from fading away. Fresh bread cooling by the door, the life we never needed more. Love can hide in simple things like a grocery list you left for me. Maybe happiness was never far away. Maybe it was hiding in the little things we made. A shopping cart, a rainy Saturday, your favorite cereal, the songs we'd always play. Some people leave behind photographs, some leave letters tied with string. You left me ordinary moments that became extraordinary memories. The grocery list in your handwriting still teaches my heart what love can be. Not diamonds, not a perfect plan, just reaching softly for my hand. If tomorrow brings another day, I'll carry your words along the way. Because the greatest love I've ever known was written between milk, bread, coffee, and don't forget to smile. The paper's faded, the ink grows light, but every time I read your words, home comes back to me. Every evening just before dark, I'd walk the old familiar block. Leaves would dance across the road like little letters never told. Your white porch stood against the sky with one warm light that caught my eye. While every house turned dark by 10, yours always welcomed me back again. I never knocked, I never called, but somehow that light said it all. Some people leave without a sound, yet pieces of them still hang around in windows glowing soft and bright, like they never said goodbye. You kept the porch lights till November, long after summer lost its colors. Every golden little evening still felt like we belonged together. Maybe hope burns quietly like a single light for someone you can't see. If love ever finds its way back home, it'll know exactly where to go, because you kept the porch lights until November. October wrapped the streets in gold. Morning air was growing cold. Neighbors packed their garden chairs. Winter waiting everywhere. Children laughed on bicycles. Clouds drifted slow and beautiful. Life kept moving day by day, but that small light never changed. Sometimes I'd stop across the street, coffee warming frozen hands, watching shadows fill the yard, trying not to understand. Funny how a tiny impossible to forget. You kept the porch lights in November, through windy nights and colder weather, while every season whispered, nothing lasts forever. Still that window softly shined, holding on to one last time. Maybe some hearts don't let go, they simply leave the light on. You kept the porch lights until November. Years from now, someone else may paint that house, replace the mailbox, plant different flowers. Children I will never know will run across that same old lawn, but somewhere underneath those boards, our quiet little story will still be breathing. If I ever lose my way, if every road forgets my name, I'll remember one small light waiting in the autumn night. Not to change the past, not to erase goodbye, only to remind me that kindness sometimes looks like a porch light glowing for someone who may never return. You kept the porch lights until November, and somehow they still lead me home. One light, one street, one season. Sometimes that's all a heart needs. On a quiet Sunday afternoon, the windows filled with golden June. An old book rested on the floor, just like it had for years before. Inside, between two faded pages, a little note survived the ages. Fold one crane for every dream, even if they never leave. So I found a stack of empty white and folded wings into the light. One became two, two became 10. I never thought I'd count again. Every crease was something true, every bird reminded me of you. 21 paper cranes flying through my window pane. They never touched the open sky, still they taught my heart to fly. Every fold carried a prayer, every wing said hope is there. Even when tomorrow hides in rain, love still lives inside paper cranes. 'Cause some numbers hold a story, not of endings, but of becoming. Every fragile wing I made was stronger than my fear. Every silent afternoon brought tomorrow near. 21 paper cranes still dancing in my room. Morning sunlight paints them gold, just like every dream foretold. If your heart feels tired tonight, fold one more before first light. Hope begins in simple things made by quiet hands and paper wings. 21 paper cranes never change the world alone. They simply changed mine. One sheet, one fold, one quiet promise. And sometimes that's enough to begin again. There's a little wooden bench by Pine Lake shore, paint worn thin like it's left before. Morning mist hangs low and slow, while the first light paints the water gold. The ducks arrive before the town, leaving tiny circles drifting out. I used to watch them with you there, 2 paper cups in the autumn air. You'd always laugh before you spoke at every terrible joke I throw. Some memories fade like summer skies, some never leave your eyes. The years kept moving quietly, but one small place remembered me. Meet me by the bench beside Pine Lake, where time is slower than our mistakes, where every sunrise knows our names, even if nothing stays the same. The water keeps the words we said, the wind still turns the pages left unread. If hearts can ever find their way, they'll know the bench beside Pine Lake. Spring returned with greener trees, children laughed beside the breeze. Someone carved 2 tiny hearts on the bench where ours once started. I wondered who they'd someday be, another story growing quietly. Love keeps changing every face, but somehow leaves the same embrace. The old cafe across the road still serves the pie you love the most. The owner smiled and asked your name. I couldn't answer, just the same. Some roads forget the steps we've made. This little shoreline never changed. Meet me by the bench beside Pine Lake, where silence sings instead of breaks. Clouds drift slowly overhead, carrying every word we never said. The seasons ride across the sky, yet every goodbye learns to fly. If hope still waits somewhere today, it's on the bench beside Pine Lake. Maybe love was never meant to stay inside one photograph. Maybe it was always meant to live inside familiar places. A quiet lake, a wooden bench, a breeze that whispers, you were here. beside Pine Lake, where yesterday still feels awake. The birds still greet the morning light, like nothing here was left behind. I'll leave one flower where we said no promises beyond that. Some stories never truly end, they simply wait around the bend. If you ever miss the life we made, you'll find me smiling through the haze, right there by the bench beside Pine Lake. Morning comes, the lake grows still, one empty bench holding a lifetime of beautiful hellos. Sun came through the blinds, painting little lines across the floor. Your favorite mug was on the shelf, exactly where you left it before. The radio played a familiar tune, quiet enough to fill the air, but somehow but some small things are stronger than goodbye. Your sweater on the kitchen chair still keeps a little piece of you there, like it remembers every laugh, every Sunday afternoon we had. I know someday this house will change, sweater on the kitchen chair. The calendar kept turning pages, summer faded into gold. The flowers by the window grew, our coffee cups kept getting cold. I found your grocery list again, tucked inside my favorite book. Funny how an ordinary moment can change the way forever looks. The clock keeps moving faithfully, but memories don't follow time. Sometimes they stay exactly where we leave them. Your sweater on the kitchen chair, waiting like you still might appear. The evening light still finds its sleep, as if it doesn't wanna leave. Your sweater on the kitchen chair. Maybe healing isn't forgetting, maybe it's smiling when your favorite song begins. Maybe it's making 2 cups of coffee before remembering one of them is mine. And somehow that hurts a little less than yesterday. Your sweater on the kitchen chair now feels like hope instead of despair. It doesn't ask me not to move or keep pretending we never grew. I'll carry it quietly learns another form. So tomorrow when the morning comes, I'll open every window wide and gently fold your sweater, knowing the warmth was never in the fabric. It was always you. The chair is empty, the room is quiet, but love still lives here. The neon sign was missing half its light, just little motel glowing through the night. The cracked white door, room number 9. Two strangers meeting out of borrowed time. Your suitcase leaned against the faded wall. You laughed and said, "This town's too small." Playing something old, like every song already knew our souls. We weren't looking for forever, just somewhere to catch our breath. But funny how a single evening can outlive the rest. At the little motel we let tomorrow learn to wait. One key, one room, one borrowed sky, one sunset fading into midnight. No promises carved into stone, just two hearts tired of driving alone. Some places disappear with time, but you'll always check me in, inside my mind. The coffee tasted far too strong. We talked until the birds sang songs. You drew a smiley on a paper cup and said, "Maybe growing up means keeping little moments." Outside an old pickup rolled away. Morning painted everything in gray. The highway whispered through the trees, calling every traveler to leave. We folded maps we didn't need, forgot the reasons we had planned. Some roads aren't made for getting somewhere, just for holding someone's hand. At the little motel on Route 8, the sunrise found us wide awake, laughing at curtains dancing slow, watching another morning glow. No fancy words, no grand goodbye, just your reflection in my eyes. Some memories never miss their flight, they stay forever on Route 8. Years roll by like passing cars, different cities, different stars. Sometimes I wonder, does that motel still keep its wooden porch, its crooked sign, its sleepy cat beside the office door? Did someone paint the walls, replace the keys, or does another story begin there every week? like ours. If life ever circles back again, past old highways and forgotten bands, I'll slow the car beneath that sign and smile before I drive on by, because love isn't measured by how long it stays. Sometimes it's measured by one beautiful place. The little motel on Route 8 still feels like home on certain days. A porch light glowing, tires on quiet pavement. The radio fades somewhere along Route 8. Another traveler is beginning a story they'll never forget. The old white mailbox leaned a little more each year. Paint faded softly, but your name was still clear. Spring kept arriving whether I was ready or not. Wild daisies blooming where the gravel forgot. The neighbors changed their curtains one by one. Children grew older underneath the summer sun. Life kept moving down Magnolia Lane, but my heart still whispered your name. Every season left another sign. The time was drawing quiet lines. Still I believe somehow, someday you'd find your way. When the daisies covered the mailbox like little stars upon the ground, they hid the road we used to follow, but never buried what we found. Some memories never asked permission. They simply bloom where love once stayed. Even when nobody writes anymore, the daisies remember. I found an old blue ribbon in the garden fence, holding on to years that no longer made sense. The wind still carried echoes through the trees like forgotten songs upon the breeze. Every sunset painted gold and white, wrapping empty evenings in gentle light. I smiled instead of looking away, learning to love yesterday. Maybe goodbye isn't the end. Maybe broken roads still gently bend toward the places we once knew and lead us through. When the daisies covered the mailbox, every flower spoke your name. Not with sorrow, not with silence, but with hope that never changed. The world kept spinning without asking, yet kindness always found a way. Some hearts never truly leave, they blossom every May. tomorrow brings another spring, I'll leave the little gate unlatched, not because I'm waiting forever, but because love taught me some doors should never close completely. The sky doesn't keep the sunset, yet it welcomes every dawn. Maybe that's what healing is, holding on without holding back. Now the daisies cover the mailbox, brighter than they've ever grown. Children laugh along the sidewalk, turning yesterday into home. I no longer count the empty letters or wonder why they never came, because every blossom gently tells me love was never lost, it simply learned a different way to stay. The mailbox still stands, the daisies still bloom, the seasons still change, and every spring the road looks beautiful again.